Okay guys, part 2 of the build. We're going to throw the brass upgrades in this thing from Hot Racing that we also picked up from our friends over at Eliminator RC in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Check out their website online at eliminatorrc.com. Check out their online store, absolutely fabulous. Okay, pull off your steering rack, nice and simple. And start with pick a knuckle, any side. Take that off. Perfect. So, take the knuckle off. Pop this dude out. You know we like to take these knuckles and open them up a little bit more. So, cut a little material out between here. Just up to the joint on both sides, just a little bit more. Use a little bit more steering angle. Make sure you get the bearing on there nicely. Slop him back in. Make sure he's seated all the way down. Strip your knuckle down, take off the hub, pull up the pin. You got your drive axle, cup, dog bone, tool thing here. You got your outdrive axle here, stub axle, and your bearings. Make sure you get them both out of there. And you have to pay attention to what side the knuckle came off of, because you can see that there is a kingpin inclination angle on them, and they need to match up with the correct one. Oh, we just cut the new back. It's just wee stuff. So obviously we have the right side off. These have a big R on them for the right side. We know that guy goes bam right on there. Inside, you don't want to put this guy back together the exact same way. Drop him through. Other bearing goes on the outside. Little tiny pin. Try it again. Little tiny pin. Done. Just set them on there like so. Now inside the other package, you'll see that there is the little metal bushings you need that take up the schnopp. There they are. Little pack of 4. Can't even get them out. Get out of there. Best way is take the little sleeve, the little screw, preload the two together, preload your weapon of choice, and then insert good. Once you get one in, you can flip the truck down, toss the other one in, no problem. Flop test. Flops on its own. That's good. I want to make sure everything moves. You can see why we opened that up right there. The material and this brassing. Look at it hits. So you don't want to go too far, because then the dog bowl will start clicking. It's just a little bit. Pro tips. And then rinse and repeat on this side. The flop test works, everything's floppy, good enough, right? You always want to make sure you give it a good flop. This one's right. Okay. Next up, brass diff covers for the front. Now you want to make sure there's two types of these. These are the 9-gram ones, and then there's like these like massive, stupid, huge block ones. Those ones are a little too big, and they'll run into problems every time just because they're so big. They stick out so far. I see them on eBay all the time. Just avoid those guys. They're absolute crap. So. If you're very lucky, the bearing will come out with the cap, just like that. You can get that in the new one. If you're unlucky, it's stuck in there really good. We're gonna want to make sure there's grease in there, which there's none. Very small amount. Give him some happy go greasy on there. A little bit of marine grease in there. Put this guy in. Now, because he's thicker, he does come with new hardware. You want to spread them out, take a look. There's 2 that are longer than everybody else. They're for the top, and the 4 smaller ones are for the bottom. As you guys can see there, 4 smaller ones, 2 longer ones. Bring it down, finger tight, see? Finger tight, tap it off, bring it back. You want to turn it front dry shot. Look at that butter just go wee, 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 wee. Make sure everything's working good. You want to put your steering back on, making sure that this end of your steering link is on the passenger side, so this goes up towards the driver's side of the truck. These guys need a little Loctite. Because you're going to a metal-to-metal connection, brass on brass, you're going to need to Loctite that. So just do it now, and also follow it on in the trail. Done. Everything's working good. Give it the flop test. Steering works good. Everything's floppy and nice and loose the way it should be. We can just throw the stock wheels back on, just so we can start to mock up the body. We do have one more brass diff cover for the rear. We don't need to sit here and change that right now. We just did the front. You guys see that it was done. We gave you some tips on that. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of this chapter of the video. We're going to go and design a paint job for this and kind of get that laid out. The next part of this video will be us putting the paint and mounting this body up. And right now we're looking at a nice little rolling chassis. We got the Team Garage Hack chassis. We started with a SCX24 Jeep Wrangler from Eliminator RC. We could just throw this body back on it and call it a sweet little truck, but we want to get that Cherokee on there. Huge Cherokee fan myself. I've had many, so that's definitely getting done. Yeah, so we got our hot racing parts from Eliminator RC, our Team Garage Hack chassis right from Team Garage Hack. Okay, so we're going to get onto that body. We'll see you guys back here in just a few. Hey guys, welcome back to the build here. We're just working on putting on the window masks on our Iceberg RC Jeep Cherokee for our SCX24 build, as you're quite aware by the beginning half of this video. So we're getting these lined up. Little trick we do here is I take the mask, I peel back the edge, and I fold it back so I can stick on one side. That way I can look and see where it's lined up exactly where I want the mask to go, because that's going to be your paint line, right? So make sure it's perfect, and then you can drop in just as you want on that line, and rinse and repeat. You want to go through and test fit all the windows, make sure you get the right ones. I actually almost put the front on the rear and the rear on the front, so just double check before you get into it. They're not marked. Peel it back, fold it over like that. Now you can line this up from the inside. Pretty good there. Okay guys, we got the window masks laid up in our Iceberg RC Jeep Cherokee XJ Jeep. Looking pretty good. Those actually masked fit pretty good. Cut them out, don't leave any excess, cut off all the black, and they fit in there. Well, leave the black, but don't leave any excess on the outside, sorry. And they fit in very nicely. Go through and mark them out like I did, just they're laid out on that way in the print, so just mark them left, 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 right, 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 and that way you can tell your orientation up and down, all that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So that's pretty much ready. Now we decided to do the Dodo. This is in reverse because it's going to be a mask on the inside, but we're doing the Dodo. As everybody knows, Jeep Cherokees are becoming extinct. The last Jeep Cherokee was produced in, the last real Jeep Cherokee with solid axles, front and rear, sorry, was produced in 2001. They had a run from 1984 to 2001, and that's it. They're one of the greatest Jeeps made. A lot of the JK guys will argue that, but we leave them sitting at the bottom of the hill all the time. So this will probably do the same thing when we're done. We'll run against our JK, or JL, whatever the heck it is. So we're going to peel these off. We're going to put one on the hood. We're going to put the Dodo down the sides of the hood. And I'm going to put one of these Dodo heads kind of peeking up, whoop, on the hatch, just kind of right there or something like that. So we're going to get that underway. This was printed on our Cricut. You guys, like I said before, pick up a Cricut. We got this for 200 bucks with a bunch of mats used. I bought a new blade off Amazon for 50 bucks or something like that, or no, it was like 20 bucks, sorry, for a premium blade. And you know, the machine itself doesn't really wear out, the blades will. So we do have the body clip hole running through the center, and we do want to make sure that doesn't land right in the middle of the art. So we can kind of play with it on the top like this, move it around, kind of see where I want. So we might put it just like that on there so it gets good coverage on the hood. So, and that way it clears everything too, so. Okay, so we got the Dodo laid up on there. And as discussed, I want to stick maybe one Dodo head sticking out here, maybe another one over here, just kind of just play around with some goofiness on them. So we're going to cut this guy's head off. There we go, Dodo number 2. And I'll add a third one to the one door on this side over here too. So I don't know any fun facts about the Dodo bird, but you can Google search some yourself and figure that out, but they're apparently extinct. Okay, there we go. So we got a Dodo there, and a big Dodo on the hood. Now we're going to add our font down the sides of the hood, the Dodo, like they do on the other fancy package. Okay, there we go. We got the Dodo 6000 here ready to go. We got bird Dodo here, bird Dodo there. We got the Dodo on the hood with that. We're going to do the body in gunmetal. We're going to do those guys in gold. It's going to look fantastic. We'll do some matte black trims around the windows, really bring it popping. Now I need to mask off the inside rear taillight buckets so we can paint those clear red after the fact, and then we can build a little bucket out of styrene and put an LED in there too. We'll build front buckets so we can put LEDs in behind the clear and get this thing looking fantastic. Remember, this body does have, ooh, I picked up a roof rack too from CC Hand. Went and seen our friends over at Eliminator RC, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and said, yo, I need a roof rack. And he said, hey, I got this one, part number VDV-C1042 from CC Hand RC 4-wheel drive and Eliminator RC. Same roof rack that we're actually running on the roof of our white JL, JK, whatever. Somebody will flame me for it, I'll get it wrong. You know what? I'm going to call it a Tacoma. It's on the roof rack of the yellow Tacoma. And look at that, bam, that fits like...
that fits really good.
Really good, and that's really going to set her off. This thing's going to be popping when we're done, so. I like the theme we came up with. The Dodo, of course, because the Jeeps are becoming extinct. And Jeeps had a Golden Eagle edition And we kind of want to do something kind of play off that. So we're going to do like the golden Dodo. I like that. Yeah, the golden Dodo. So yeah, you know what? We're pretty much ready to mask up these rear tails. And if everybody remembers from the beginning of the video, this body is not covered in clear plastic. You need to tape off the entire outside, or at least tape it off around the edge, and then paper wrap it and seal it tight for when you paint it, or you're gonna ruin the body and you might as well just quit the hobby. Go get a dog. I'm out here. Bye. I quit. Okay guys, we got this all masked out. Windows are done, ready to go. We got our Dodo masks on. I hastily gave it just a good wrap in our Tamiya yellow rice paper tape there. You just want to make sure before you start painting, you've got all the coverage done nicely. I cut these corners, pull them back, and you just want to make sure you get a good seal all the way around before you start putting the paint, and you have no overlaps like this one right here, because that will give you a negative paint result. Okay, we're gonna go throw some paint on it. We're gonna hit it with PS23 gunmetal. Now, before you guys run this paint, it is always nice to get it warmed up a little bit. You can throw it in some warm water. I like to just shake it, hold it in my hands, and even just tuck it under my armpit while I'm working on this, making sure it's all sealed down. And what that does is it just brings up the pressure in the can, because it is cold sitting here, just in the ambient air temperature of the shop down here. So you want this to be warm because it increases the pressure and gives you a nice spray pattern. It's more consistent. So I like to tuck it under my arm. It's easier than going to heat up some water to cup and make a mess, and you gotta dry the can. I hope you don't miss a drop and drip it on the body and being down that road. Okay, so and then you want to just make sure all these are firm. You got your Dodo bird or whatever you're putting on there, all good and secure. Now, obviously, this is for people that are new getting into paint jobs. I'm sure a lot of you guys have done them. We haven't really shown many of our paint jobs. We're just going to show you guys the way we do it. You might have a better way to do it if that's working for you. Continue, but this is just to help out people getting into the hobby. It's a Tamiya product we're using. This is their 40mm wide masking paint tape. Is that English? Good enough. Let's go shoot this. Okay guys, we got a couple of coats of gray laid up in there, gunmetal gray. Now we're going to pull back the Dodos and the writing, and we're going to spray it with our PS13 gold. Remember, shake that up, tuck it under your arm while you work, get that start warming up. You want to make sure you don't scratch the inside of this too much as you're working away. So yeah, just want to make sure you do not scratch this at all, actually. Get in there and start pulling these guys out. Okay, so we're going to get that all done. I'm going to go spray that gold and we'll peel this off, come back, check it out. Okay guys, that's all done. We got the gold sprayed up in there. Let's unwrap this and take a look. Hopefully nothing bled through. Soaked in a little bit. It didn't bleed through, it just kind of soaked the edges. If it did, we'll show you a trick how to get rid of that. So there we go. That's looking pretty fantastic. Looks pretty good. Damn, there we go for now. Now we get to detail it up and make it look real good. Throw the roof rack on the top. We're going to lower this guy down, get him looking a lot better, change the wheels and tires, and detail around the windows, tint the windows, all that cool stuff. Stay tuned, we'll get on to that right away. Hey guys, welcome back. We got the body mounted on the truck, looking fantastic. Now it's time to tackle the wheel issue and time to upgrade those because we can't leave the stock on there. We decided we're going to go with the Trio Hobby Trio 1.0 beadlock wheels for SCX24 aluminum 11.6 gram B-type black on black. Trio product, very nice. Eliminator RC is now carrying these. That's where we picked these ones up, of course. And let me find my knife. Now, I've already built 2 of these wheels, and I'm actually, you know, it's dreadful building micro wheels for guys that have done it a lot. I recommend to actually go out and get some of these, you guys. They're fantastic. Make sure you have the proper driver. 0.050. That is the driver you need for these tiny screws. It is not a 1.5. It is not a 1/16. It is a 0.050. So make sure you get your hands on one of these drivers, a good quality one. Do not buy it from Harbor Freight. It is a piece of crap. There, I said it. So, the tires we're going to wrap these in are the RC 4-wheel drive BF Goodrich. These are the KR3 in 1.0. They're nice and fat. They got a nice meaty stance to them, so they're going to help go with the extra width of the body, since the body is a lot wider than your standard SCX24 body. A fatter tire is going to help bring the whole package looking, bring it full circle. So we're looking for, we'll go with that. So part number on those guys is Z-T0202. And these are X002R90YEL for yellow. Okay, so pull apart top ring, take it off, take out your center ring, just like all the other wheels we do, you guys. Pop them in. Now you can bevel cut these foams like I do on the larger ones if it's giving you a bit of trouble, but I actually already went and built 2 of these when I was watching Oprah on TV at 4 o'clock after my daily cartoons. No, I'm joking. I've already built 2 of these before, and I was actually surprised how well they go together. Just make sure you get this to pass through nicely. You're not pulling a whole bunch of tire through. And at this point, it kind of, I was a little worried. I was like, okay, this is going to suck putting this together, but I got a little bit of my Loctite. I got out one of these plastic bags that we just gutted out. Used a whole ton of Loctite. Okay, so once you get the back ring seated, it looks good all the way around, nothing's pinched, he's sitting in there. You just want to kind of go around the inside and make sure you've make sure it's all in there. You can push it back a little bit. There's not much of a groove that you're going to be able to get the tire in to stay with without getting the ring in, so you can kind of go around, work it just a little bit, set it in the ring, and then grab your top plate. I'm just going to drop it on there for now. I'll load up a screw, and then we'll get some pressure on it. Hopefully we can get it all to catch nicely like the first 2 did for us. So. Start the screw just a little bit on the one side. I'm going to go directly across from it. There, now you can quickly take a visual around the inside like this, and I can just make sure that I got no flippy flappy hanging out, right? So, is that what we're going to call it?
Yes.
Or bead, but I like flippy flappy better. So now we just want to get all our screws in, Loctite it down, 5 more in the center, and we're done. On to the next one. So once you get the bead lock ring done and in, everything looking good, you just don't want to forget to do the 5 little detail screws they have set up in the middle of these to make them look like some scale lug nuts. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, and there we go. Looks absolutely fabulous. Great looking wheel. Great looking tire for RC 4-wheel drive and trail. You pick those up over at Eliminator RC, guys. Remember, if you shop in there, put in a ProNoob code. Put in the ProNoob code, 15% off on orders of $100. You'll save $15. Basically, your taxes up here in Canada on it. So, those on the truck. Now looking like that. Compared to the other side, you see front to back. You can see the width. It sticks out the side a little bit, and obviously a lot fatter. So, much better look. You know, the stock wheel and tire looked okay, but now they look absolutely fantastic. Plus, it's going to give you a bit more of that down low weight. What did they say? They were 16.8 grams or something. They're quite a bit heavier than the stock one, that's for sure. Wait, no, that's a Mini Z. Quite a bit heavier than the stock one. So, a lot different compound. They got the foam in the middle. Now, the one thing I am going to do, because these are not vented, I am going to put 2 vent holes in the tires, heat up a piece of metal, drive it through the tire like we did in the other videos, and just make sure that they can breathe and go from there. So, these ones are already nice and vented. And you can see a lot more squishy there. So now we got to get back into the body. We got the roof rack to mount. We got some tail lights to paint. We got some window lines to do. I think I'm going to tint the windows on the inside just to kind of close it up a little bit. Yeah, so let's get cracking on that. Okay, well, I took the body, decided we're going to tint the windows, so I set that in the paint booth, shot that up. In the meantime, we needed to tie together the back half of these frame rails on this Team Garage Hack chassis. So I took a couple pieces of solid styrene rod. You can pick up from, of course, any hobby shop. Eliminator RC has it. You can order from them, get the sound up to you. Took our pin vise or micro drill, hand drilled some little tiny holes in the end of it, cut it to fit, used some leftover screws from all the stuff we took off of the truck, and put one there between the mounts, keep them all straight and nice, and then one in between here, keep the frame lined up and good like that, because before it was shifting like that, making the body look all cattywampus. So then we went along and took a small little chunk of styrene and put that on top of what is left of the base for the front servo mount. So it actually brings up the height flush with the top of that ball joint on the rear. And now we're just about to glue the EMAX servo in. And yeah, one thing we like to do, as we've done in other videos, you guys know by now, we like to pigtail the wires so they just look cool. This wire is only going from there to there, so the more slack we can take out of it and kind of make it look good, the better. Like our other buddy Ben would just, he's braver than me, he just open up the box, clip the wires, solder, like take them off the board, and shorten the wire, put it back on. But I like this, look at how quick this is. No solder, no drama, no chance of fail. Hey, where you going? Okay, so remember, your steering box comes from the driver's side of the vehicle. So if you guys are on the other side of the pond and you're driving right-hand side, then you'd want to put the servo with the right-hand side drop. You want to flip your front steering rack so it's coming from the other side. Now with this type of setup, you might not be able to do it because this is a generic driver's side drop style mount on this arm, but you can go to a full-length mount and run right to the end like the other trucks do. So we're going to go driver's side drop. That's that side down. It does have the EMAX servo on it, and the EMAX servo is going to fall off, so we just take that off now. And of course you want to test fit it, make sure you know exactly where you want to put it, get this wire running exactly how you want it, make sure everything fits, and then we'll come back with some shoe goo and plop that in. Now if you're wondering about the ball mount in the rear, I don't know if you can see it there, the ball mount in the rear, it actually is going to clear the servo. The servo sits on a bit of an angle now with the plate. When we shoe glued the plate in, we left a little bit higher in the rear and just kind of let it cure up that way, so it's a little bit sloped. So now it's going to hold the servo on a little bit of a slope of angle above it. So we're going to get that glued up, and yeah, we'll get the servo horn, all that on, and we'll get back to the body. Okay, since the windows dried on it, we actually went through, we threw some decals on it. We figured we'd just quickly get through the rest of this for you guys, show you the finished product. We threw the roof rack on, pretty simple. 4 screws, screw down into the Lexan, line it up, just drill through. Get your helens on a little pin vise or micro drill so you can pre-drill all your little holes and just make sure it's the right size. Besides that, we painted the taillights into clear red. I stuck my finger in that one, so we got to go through and touch that one up. And we need to put some chrome. I might do the chrome on the grill, or maybe a different color, maybe gold to go with the vehicle or something around the things. I might just leave it, who knows. But we do need to paint the marker lights on the bottom silver first, and then go over top with a clear orange so we get that look. And we are going to lower it down a little bit now that it's all together. We wanted to get it all fit and done, and now we can start to go into the performance mod, start to bring it down just a little bit, get it looking a lot better, performing a ton better. So, but with the added brass that we put on the truck, the added wheels, the bigger, fatter tires, the whole package is going to perform really good. It's got that Team Garage Hack chassis with the 5-degree kick or whatever they call it to the skid plate, which helps you get over things a little bit better. All in all, it's going to be a great truck. We already know everything we build turns out to be good and fun in the end. I've never built a truck I didn't like, so yeah. we'll see you guys back on the next video. The next video, we're going to do the headlight, the tail light buckets, and we're going to lower it down. We're going to get it lit up, and we're going to 3D print some door handles and windshield wipers and a snorkel for this little dude. So we'll catch you guys back on the next one, and we still need to figure out bumpers. So we're going to get a nice front bumper and a rear bumper figured out. But so far, that's the end of the video of the Team Garage Hack chassis and the Iceberg RC XJ Jeep Cherokee body for the SCX24. Cheers.